Hi, my name is Betty, and I am beginning this YouTube channel because I want to share my travels with other people instead of just being by myself. And so this seemed like the perfect way to do that. And so I hope that you will join me. And I've named the channel Scenic and Simple because I love beautiful scenery and I need to travel simply in order to make this happen. And so this is a lifelong dream of mine. When I was a little girl, I used to dream about going places and I'd plan out trips, and it's just something I've never been able to do until now. I did set out 2 times before to do this since I retired in 2021, and I am now 66 years old, but back then, it was when I was 62, I I attempted to start out and I collected a lot of the equipment that I am now using, and it didn't exactly work out. So I tried again a year later, and things happened again. And so this is my third attempt at it now in 2025, and it's the first time I've actually done it. So I am now on my 9th day of travels. I'm having the time of my life. It's a little bit of a learning curve, and getting to the mountains was a hot journey, but I've taken a lot of really fun videos and I hope to share them with you. I did set out once before to make this video, an introduction video that showed things that it just didn't seem right, and I have a hard time getting it out there. So this is my new introduction video. I hope it'll go a little easier. Today is a rainy day. I'm actually I was in Yellowstone National Park overnight. It was my first day there ever, and it's just pouring down rain today. And I was planning on going to Bozeman anyhow today, so I just thought, okay, I can just spend the whole day and get this video out. And so that's what I am doing. I have been struggling a great deal with the video portion of this because I have these grand ideas in my head about the things I'd like to do, and they all work in my head, but I don't have the video editing skills to make it happen. And so my channel name of Scenic and Simple also is going to mean simple videos, because if I don't do the simple videos, they're not going to get there, because that's all I know how to do right now. And I'm going to get them out there, and then maybe I can get a little bit more sophisticated as time goes on, but right now I have to keep them simple or I'm not going to get it done. So now I am traveling and living in my 2017 Toyota Sienna, and this is not the car that I had the first 2 times I set out. I had a 2018 Ford Focus, and so it was going to be a much smaller, tighter fit, but somehow I was going to make it work. I got it all set up. It was great, but now that I'm in this larger vehicle, I am struggling still. I probably brought too many things with me, but I am going to probably get rid of a few things along the way here and make it a little better. But I have power stations that I purchased a long time ago, and one of them is not working very well at all. And that's one of the things that I need to leave behind. I think I can make it work with the other 3. The one large one that I have, I dedicated to running my refrigerator, my freezer, because I just read this little tiny 20-quart unit, and I'm running it as a freezer. And then I have a small cooler that I am using for my refrigerator, and I have ice that I can refreeze, and I'm using that to cool the refrigerator. And so far it's working. It was really tough in the hot weather before I got here, but to make this all work, I do have portable solar panels that I can use, but in weather like this, that would never work. And so I did buy this time before I left Bluetti Charger 1, and I can charge that big station of mine as I drive, and so far it's working pretty good. I'm a little bit nervous with it, and I kind of turn it off at times, but it's been working pretty good. So with all that said, this is my introduction, and I have a lot of video clips that I want to get out there, And so I'm going to show you the first few days of my travels on this video clip, and I will just have to, some of them I talked in. I'm having a hard time learning how to talk and when to talk and how to video myself and all that stuff. It's that's a whole learning curve too. To tell you the truth, I've avoided cameras my entire life. I There's a good reason for it, but I just, yeah. And so this has been something. This is a, if I actually get these videos out there, it's amazing, because this is not my personality. I said I could never ever ever start a YouTube channel because I just couldn't be out there and put myself in front of the camera. So this is a huge hurdle for me to get over, and I am trying very, very hard to get these videos out. So with that said, I'm going to put videos in here now and kind of talk you through my first few days of travel for my first video. So the first stop that I made was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at Falls Park. And this was just a lovely spot to stop and stretch my legs. I'd been here once before with my daughter-in-law and 2 granddaughters. We went on a very, very fun vacation 2 years ago. And the first 3 places that I stopped to visit will be places that we also visited on that vacation. And I just chose this spot because it was just a nice distance from where I was and on my way going west. And so it's just a very nice city park, and I just thought it was lovely, and I just thought I would share it with you. Okay, so I stopped at this little park and I'm making my dinner. This is the second thing of chicken that I've got cooking here. I have a salad. I think there's enough for today and tomorrow. There's some of the cooked chicken. So I'm gonna make some salad dressing and I'm gonna go ahead and eat that real quick. And I still have to find a place to park for tonight, so I'm kind of in a hurry. Okay, this is really funny. The whole time I was eating, I was rushing and trying to hurry. And I didn't realize that I was already at the park that I'd picked yesterday to sleep at. And I picked the same one to eat at. So I guess I'm here, and now I got a mess to clean up. But yeah, at least I don't have to go anywhere. So as I'm finishing up that first day's video, I just wanted to say that about 5 minutes after I made that last little blurb, that a park guy drove up to use the restroom, and I decided to go over and ask him to make sure, because I had found that park on iOverlander, and only one person had said that it was an all-night park, and I didn't see any signs that said one way or the other. And so I asked him, and he said it did close at 10 o'clock, and that someone would probably kick me out if I stayed, and if I stayed more than once, they'd probably give me a really stiff fine. So I didn't want to take any chances, so I decided to go find a different place. So the next day, I drove to the west end of Badlands National Park, and I found this dispersed camping site just outside of the west entrance to the park, and it was across the street was a pretty nice view. I was tempted to stay over there, but I didn't. And anyhow, then it was time to set up my tent and to hold the spot so that I could go someplace. Now, mind you, it was very, very hot, and so I cut out a whole bunch of clips of this, but I was attempting to put this thing up, having such a hard time. I had some cell service there, so I tried to figure out how to do it online, and that really wasn't a whole lot of help. And then, I just kept working at it. And then that. So a man came over and helped me, and then I finally did get it put up. So I went into the park and I visited a few of the places on the west end, I don't even remember which ones are which now. It was so hot. And oh, I was just, yeah, I finally just sat in the car in a place where I could find a tree. Wasn't even a real parking spot. And I just kind of waited it out because everything inside the car was getting cooked. I had to leave the windows down and park in the shade and hope for the best. And it was just a very hot afternoon. They don't call it the Badlands for nothing. Shade is just something they don't have much of there. So after it cooled off slightly, I made it back in, and first thing I did, I drove to the Yellow Mounds. There's one of my favorite sections of the park, and I took lots and lots and lots of video of the Yellow Mounds. It's really quite lovely there. So yeah, just enjoy that. At sunset, I made my way to the Pinnacles overlook and took a few clips there. After that, I headed back to the
early
camp.
that night, but then the storm kicked in. There was thunder and lightning and wind, lots of wind and rain, and it was exciting to say the least. But nobody else seemed too worried there in the camp, so we made it through. In the morning, I went back into the Badlands early to go on a hike, and I have lots of pictures here for you of the hike. And it was in it was going to be the Saddle Pass Medicine Route, I think it is, trail I was going to go on. It was kind of a loop, and I decided just to go up and back on the Saddle Pass part. And
So I took a very short little detour to come here. I guess this is the place where people hike up. That's kind of a rough way up, but the way I went is much better, I guess. So I returned back down the trail the way I had come. Oh, we're almost there. There's the cars. This was a nice hike. So this is the view from my campsite. It's actually pretty nice.
I've been here all afternoon, kind of just chilling in the shade. Here's my covered picnic table. But look over here at the other people. So I have the best sight. Okay, so this is the door trail. Super short, but it's pretty out here. So you're allowed to wander around out here on the rocks. I didn't bring my hiking pole, so I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I might. Okay, now this is where I wish I had my hiking pole. There, made it. So everybody just left the boardwalk. So I'll give you a quick look around here. Okay, this is the window trail. This is the beginning of the Cliff Shelf Nature Trail. And I think this is the only trail that has trees on it. I could be wrong. But I haven't seen any that do other than this one. It's kind of pretty. There'll be a little bit of a climb on this one. Okay, looks like we've reached the top. I'm obviously out of breath. Now we're going down. I just love the amount of trees in here. I don't know how come the rest of the park is so barren and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of trees here. Be interesting to find out. Oh, it look like junipers or something. Very pretty. I think this is going to bring us right back to where we started. But maybe not.
Yeah, when we came up, we went that way. So now we gotta go down this way. Well, that was a really pretty hike up and back, and so nice quick one. Back to the parking lot. So this is my campsite for the night. It's not bad. I like the view. So this is where I'm going to end my first video. So thanks for watching.